the final tonight. And the best team in baseball wins it all in 2018.
For the first hit. Rutschman into right field. Down the line. A fair ball. Adley will turn first. Head for second. He's going to turn second. Go for third. Rutschman into third base standing. An extra base hit. His first hit in the major leagues. Welcome to the...
These are long pitch innings, I think. Blister, that's what you wanted to make sure.
Here's a high fly ball into right. Back is Betts on the move. On the track. He's got catch by Mookie Betts.
Now, Clifford looking for a clean inning here in the seventh.
Hit well out to right center field. Jones still on the move, running out of room, and he makes it.
I'm your host, Patrick Moran, alongside Brendan Cunningham. Today we have an idea solely brought to us by Brendan. He wanted to power rank MLB franchises. So we both made our lists, and we both took into account, the whole team's history, like how successful they've been in the past, winning percentage in the regular season, championships brought in, players that have come through that organization throughout the years. So we've taken a lot of factors in, and we have made some complete lists. Mine's a little messy because I definitely had to shift some things, and looks a little scratchy, but we're here, and this is a great idea. Shout out to you. But first, how are you doing this week? I know we've had some heartbreaking football losses, but maybe today's pod will make it a little bit better.
Yeah, me and you both lost by a field goal.
Yeah.
Ravens and Patriots, which was tough.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Come back.
Yeah.
It's just it's a tough loss to me.
Yeah, what you feel like you probably weren't favored to win that game. I know the Ravens were for us, but yeah, it's disappointing. And I mean, we were talking before the show. We had a lot of commonalities this week because both of our fantasy football teams had to play Alvin Kamara this week. And for all our football fans listening, shout out to you. Alvin Kamara had 4 touchdowns against the Cowboys, so we both might be cooked on that front too.
Yeah, 43 points.
Yeah.
Not looking great for the squad.
No.
I'm actually not sure we get this dub. And we both had Rashad White.
Yeah, who did nothing for both of us.
Negative losses here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough look, but it's always great to be on Beyond the Ballpark. The podcast always makes everything better. So I think without further ado, let's stop talking football because we love talking baseball on this podcast and get into it. So we decided that we're gonna go in chunks of 5 with this one. Yeah, it'll be increments of 5. It'll be like 6 chunks, and you want to work bottom to top because that's how we normally do it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So, and we didn't collaborate on this, so these are our own individual lists. So yeah, it might create some differing opinions. In the bottom, this is always not fun because I don't like slandering teams' history. Because obviously everyone's history is personal to them. But yeah, my bottom 5 was the Seattle Mariners at number 30, Tampa Bay at number 29, Colorado Rockies 28, San Diego Padres 27, and Milwaukee Brewers 26. There's kind of a common theme here with all of these teams. But yeah, how about you going to your bottom 5?
I had the Colorado Rockies at 30.
Oh.
San Diego Padres at 29.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Rangers at 28. Tampa Bay Rays 27 and Milwaukee Brewers at 26.
Okay, wow, this is a lot different here with
I'm noticing a big thing quickly.
yeah, mine has all these teams in my bottom 5 have a commonality. None of these teams have won a World Series in my bottom 5. And then, the Mariners, number 30, haven't even made a World Series. So, as fun as the franchise is with the Seattle Mariners, I objectively find little to no credibility in the fact that this franchise has never made a World Series in its existence. I think definitely up to this point, they should have made at least one, and they haven't even played in a World Series, which is pretty unacceptable by my standards. Rays are pretty unspectacular. It's a small market. It's I didn't really find a whole lot there. And then Colorado Rockies, yeah, I mean, another situation, small market. I mean, then again, all these are small markets. Padres are okay. Padres are fine. Like, it's they haven't won a World Series either. Obviously, they're a lot different from what they used to be. They're kind of the big spenders. They're very aggressive as a franchise. But again, they don't have a lot of flourish under their belt, a lot on their resume, and then Milwaukee Brewers number 26. I have a soft spot for the Brewers. If I wasn't an Orioles fan, I'd probably be a Brewers fan. But another team only made one World Series, so you gotta look at it objectively. And all these teams, no real hardware as a franchise, which is I would say disappointing.
So I think the big kind of difference is I don't have the Seattle Mariners um that I hadn't mentioned yet.
Yeah,
I think
it's true.
I took players in a lot. I kind of that mattered more to me what kind of players you had. So that was kind of a big factor. I think the Mariners have a lot of talent come through them, like Ken Griffey Jr. Just a lot of good players. So I even though not a lot of success, but in the playoffs, but they had some good regular seasons. And the Rockies, I don't think there's much there. Not a lot of players. Their success, I mean, second to worst winning percentage of all time. No championships. But I want to go to the Tampa Bay Rays. I know you had them at, what did you say, 29?
I had 29.
I think I have at 27. I think you can argue a little bit more for them. I mean, if you look at the winning percentage, they're 16th all time with a 490 winning percentage.
Mm.
I mean, it's a small market team, so they don't kind of get the big players. But to kind of scrap out that winning percentage, I think is impressive. So I had to bump them up a few spots. And I think Milwaukee Brewers is also a strong team. They're higher on the winning percentage, and they made a couple more World Series. But should I start off the next 5?
Yeah, I will say one last thing to your point with the Mariners. They set the all-time record for most wins in a regular season, which I did not remember, but I think I'll stick to my guns with that one. If you can't make a World Series as franchise, it's just not. Yeah. So, but yeah, you can go ahead to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely an argument they hadn't made it. You can definitely put them there.
Yeah.
It's not crazy to say. But starting off, I do have the Mariners at 25.
Mhm.
24 I had the Marlins. 23 I had the Diamondbacks. 22 I had the Nationals, and 21 I had the Phillies.
Okay.
So we just talked about the Mariners a lot, so I'm gonna just kind of leave it at that. And then Marlins, they got 2 rings, which is kind of surprising. But they are last in win percentage. Nothing really happens there anymore. They had some good players like Giancarlo Stanton, Miguel Cabrera, but it's just you don't see that anymore there. So I had to put some respect. If they didn't have those 2 championships, they're probably number 30 for me. But it'll scratch those out. And then Diamondbacks only 1 championship, but yeah, okay talent level. Win percentage nothing crazy. And then the Nationals, for the Nationals, I don't know if you did this, but I was also including the Expos. I think did you do that,
Oh,
Patrick?
I did not. I will say that.
Okay, so for the Nationals, I did include the Expos. But Nationals actually did win a championship as the Nationals, so you can't take
Yeah,
that
that's true.
away.
Hmm.
But that means I had like the players that played in like Vladimir Guerrero and Pedro Martinez. I counted them as nationals.
Gary Carter, Tim Raines, also some pretty good expos.
Yep. So that was something I did. But I think that feels fair. It's kind of their history if you look at it.
Mhm.
And then Phillies, I think it's kind of surprising. Philadelphia's kind of a big market team. And if you look at the numbers, you think Phillies would be a lot better, but they're really not. Only 2 World Championships, and their win percentage is 27th in the league. They have good players like Mike Schmidt and stuff, but Bryce Harper is probably up there. But I don't know, 21. I feel like it'd be a little high for the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah. So for what? 25 through 21, I had the Angels at 25, Rangers at 24, Blue Jays at 23, Royals at Marlins at 22, and then D-backs I forget how I wrote this. Nationals. Angels, Rangers, Blue Jays, and then Nationals. Yeah. Nationals and then D-backs was my next chunk. So for the Angels, it's interesting with the Angels. They do have one World Series, which is cool. But quite frankly, if I'm being completely honest, it is, I think, a literal joke that this team had Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani in this organization and did nothing, legitimately nothing. For me, that reflected pretty poorly. So that is why they're all the way down here, and it's bad. It's just really bad that those are 2 generational talents. Mike Trout, one of the best players of this era, maybe even of all time, and Shohei Ohtani, one of the most unique players of all time, pitching and hitting, a true unicorn of the game. And they didn't. Mike Trout only played in like one playoff game, and Shohei Ohtani never sniffed playoffs. The Angels, which is like, it's just horrible. And like, I could go on a whole rant about that, but that is for another time. Rangers 24. Shout out the Rangers. They did win a World Series last year. Obviously beat my Orioles, which is pretty heartbreaking, but another story for another time. Yeah, I mean the Rangers, and again, not really an organization with a whole lot of history, and Elvis Andrews World Series, or no, not World Series, Hall of Fame player. He got inducted this year, so that's pretty cool. Pudge Rodriguez in that organization as well. Nolan Ryan pitching for his hometown team. Trying to come up with some players because that's what you did, but yeah, that's the Rangers certainly had some good players, but again, just not a whole lot there. Blue Jays number 23 again, kind of the same story. I'd honestly probably flip the Rangers and the Blue Jays now that I think about it. It's like the Blue Jays have more championships, if I want to say. I think they have 2 when I was doing my research, but it feels like they've had worse talent come through, or they haven't had as much talent come through, which would probably be the better way to say that. And then Nationals at 22. I was really I was thinking even smaller. I was thinking from 2005 to current. But when I was doing the research, it came up, I believe, like 65. 69. It was the 1969 to present. The Nationals do have a World Series ring, which is pretty impressive. Oh, okay, never mind. So mine does include the Expos. I didn't even realize it included the Expos. So yeah, we both included the Expos. I just didn't realize. But yeah, Nationals did bring home that World Series to DC. I remember that happening. It was at the World Series parade. And then D-backs, Arizona Diamondbacks, another team that's only won 1 World Series. Randy Johnson, all-time great. He's arguably the greatest pitcher of all time. I think he's the greatest pitcher of all time, in my personal opinion. And again, Diamondbacks made the World Series last year, which is also pretty cool. And then one last note on the Nationals: 6 playoff appearances. I'm going to be honest, they had a decent little run in the mid-2010s with guys like Bryce Harper, like you mentioned, and and Jason Worth, and like Ian Desmond and Denard Span were pretty good players. Like a Gio Gonzalez, Max Scherzer, Jordan Zimmerman, like that. There at that time there were some guys who were playing really well and were able to take them somewhere, which credit to them, and that's kind of this next lower tier section, not the bottom, but definitely close to it. Anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big change there was the Rangers. You had a lot higher than I did. I had the Rangers
Yeah,
down at 28.
yeah, it's true. All right, next section.
Next section? Yeah.
Yeah. So for my next section, I did Marlins at number 20, Royals number 19, and then Mets number 18, Phillies at number 17, and then Twins at number 16. What is that? Yeah, I think that's 16. Yeah. So my first team was what, the Marlins. So yeah, you were a little bit. So they were in your previous section on the list. You did mention 2 World Series. The Marlins, very interesting. I actually watched a video a little while back, and I'm starting to remember a little bit. Jolly Olive, shout out. If you want to go check him out, he does some really good, informative videos. And the Marlins are a team that, kind of learning from that video, they've traded away a lot of talent, which is really interesting. Like they had Giancarlo Stanton, Christian Yelich, JT Realmuto recently, but they had a Miguel Cabrera, and they didn't keep those guys. Those guys didn't really stick in Miami or Florida for that long of a time, which is fascinating considering how good those players are. They did bring home the hardware twice, which is very interesting, and I think you put it well. Is that if the Marlins didn't bring home those World Series titles, they'd be pretty damn close to the bottom. But the fact that they have the hardware to show is a testament to what they were able to build for a little bit. And then Royals number 20 or number 19. Yeah, I mean the Royals pretty decent. I mean they've had George Brett go through that organization. Obviously a great all-time hitter, probably the closest hitter ever to come through or closest player to come to Ted Williams' 400 average record for an entire season. I believe he hit like 390. But yeah, the Royals certainly had something going for them, and they had a nice little run in the 2010s. I remember there was a year where they had like literally the whole team was the All-Star team, which was part of them stuffing the ballot, but also the Royals were able to field some good teams in the mid 2010s. And then I had the Mets. Mets unfortunately beat my Orioles in the World Series. We don't talk about that. But testament to the Mets. Mets have certainly had some talent. Nolan Ryan started out with the Mets, and he's certainly one of the all-time greats. They had Tom Seaver, Keith Hernandez, Mike Piazza was a New York Met. They've certainly had some stuff to show. Unfortunately, they can bring home that World Series in 2015, which was like the first time I was kind of following baseball. That's too bad. And then at number 17, Phillies. Phillies won the World Series in 2008. They've certainly had some good talent. They had Bryce Harper right now, who's an all-time player, and we've talked about him with the Nationals. They had Ryan Howard, Jimmy Rollins, so some pretty good players. Roy Halladay was a pretty decent pitcher. They had Mike Schmidt. The Phillies were a really good team in the 1980s. They lost to the Orioles, so shout out the '83 Orioles. But the Phillies are certainly a pretty decent franchise, I would say, and they're coming in right about the middle of the pack.
So we're pretty similar to these sections here. I had the Royals at 20, the Angels at 19. I also the Mets at 18. And then I had the Twins at 17, and then 16. I don't know if you're gonna like for this. I had the Orioles at 16.
So like, what gave you more of an edge for the Angels?
What do you mean?
Because I had the Angels at 25,
You did.
and you had them a little bit
Okay.
higher.
Angels, I looked at the talent level, the players they've had,
hmm
and they just consistently, even though they might not win, the
Yeah.
talent level is there. It's right there. They're 15th all-time win percentage too, so they do win. Maybe not recently, but they have won. Ish. That's just kind of and one. I know it's only one championship, but still, I think I took talent to a lot bigger level than you did. And then
Oh, did you have the Angels above the Orioles?
No.
Okay.
I had the Orioles at 16. They're their last one in this section.
Okay.
And kind of speaking of them, even though they had the 3 championships, I know that's. But I looked at the win percentage and it kind of pulled them down. And it was tough. They're number 26 there, so it was the talent level. It's okay. Kyle Ripken, a lot of the guys, Jim Palmer and stuff, but it wasn't enough to. The win percentage was too low. Yes, they had 2 championships, but wasn't enough. Then what else? You had the Twins at 16, right?
I did. I had the Twins at 16.
We were pretty similar on that. Who was your who did you have there again? Can you say it again?
Mine. Hold on, I gotta organize. So we did what, 25 to 21, and then So I had. I was pretty disorganized with this.
Is this not a list?
No, I made this list and then I made a bunch of arrows trying to indicate. So it was what? 25, 21. Hold on, I can get this. 25 or 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay. And then so D-backs, Marlins, Royals, Mets, Phillies. Okay.
Oh, you had the Phillies a lot higher. That's what you did.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That
did.
was your big difference. I was trying to think about what you had different, and that was it. Okay. So yeah, the Phillies, I could see it. They've had some talent. The win percentage was just too low for me. Only 2 championships to show for it.
Okay.
It's just kind of I couldn't bring them any higher.
That's
But
fair.
I say we were pretty close there.
Okay.
I'll move on.
All right. How about you lead off the next section?
Yeah. Okay. So at 15, I got the Toronto Blue Jays. 14, Houston Astros. 13, Cleveland Guardians. Number 12, I had the Chicago White Sox, and 11, I had the Detroit Tigers. So for number 15, Blue Jays. I know you had the Blue Jays a lot lower. I just 2 championships. They had a good win percentage, I think. Yeah, they were number 14. I think they've had some good talent in there. Just kind of, I don't know. It's kind of where I put them in the middle pack. And Astros is an interesting one. They've had really good success. I know a lot over time we've seen.
Yes.
But I feel like it was just kind of scarred because of that cheating. If they didn't have that and that championship was legit and they had the 3 championships and they had a lot of good players, I could put them a lot higher, but I couldn't do that because we're not sure how real that 2017 one is. So that was just kind of a big factor for them. I don't think that'll just be a stain on their record forever.
Yeah.
And then for 13, I had the Guardians, a surprising team. They're 7th all time in win percentage. I feel like the Guardians haven't had a whole lot of top end talent in their team. It just never feels like they have one of those best guys in the league. I know I haven't seen a lot of Guardians baseball, but I don't feel like it's ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
So good for them though. I think they have 2 or 3 championships. I can't remember the number.
Wait. You're saying the Guardians?
Yes.
Okay.
There's 2. And they've made ones recent 2016.
Yeah. Two World Series to 6 pennants.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty consistently good, which is I don't know how they do it. They did it this year. They're somehow good.
Yeah.
So that was kind of where I put them. And then White Sox. It's kind of hard to put them at number 12 right now when they're absolute garbage in real life. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, 2 championships, good win percentage. It's hard to put them lower. You got some players, Big Hurt, Frank Thomas. Just they've had some guys going in and out. And then I have the Detroit Tigers just out of the top 10. That was a tough one. They've got 4 championships, and they are 10th all time in percentage. But they've got a ton of players like Miguel Cabrera, Ty Cobb, Justin Verlander. They have a lot of good pitchers go through there.
Yeah.
So they're surprisingly. People kind of forget about Detroit, but Detroit has some talent there. I don't know, surprising out of them, but yeah, I think they're just out of the top 10 for me.
Yeah, I mean, on the Tigers note, I forget what year it was, but it was like they had a pitching staff of Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, Robbie Ray, and like a few other guys. I don't quite remember. But like that was a staff full of Cy Youngs. They just
Rick Porcello's in there.
Oh yeah, you're right. It might have been Porcello, and Porcello won a Cy Young. Yeah. And like you gotta wonder what could have been if they realized the talent that those all those 4 out of 4 pitchers on one staff won a Cy Young in their career. That's pretty insane. So that's certainly something to think about. Tigers just didn't realize they had that talent, and it never quite came together. From my chunk, I had the Twins at number 16, the Orioles at number 15, Guardians at 14, White Sox at 13, and Tigers at 12. So wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I might have miscounted one of my sections.
Who's your 11?
My 11 was Cincinnati Reds.
Oh wow.
Okay, so to go over mine, Twins are pretty solid. They've had a pretty solid go. They've, Rod Carew has come through there, Kirby Puckett's come through there. That's certainly something to hang your hat on. The Twins have had some pretty decent years. Let me take a look at the reference page, baseball reference. Okay, so 3 world championships to 6 pennants, and they made 18 playoff appearances. If we look at the all-time top 20, yeah, I mean like Harmon Killebrew. Harmon Killebrew is a pretty good name to come through there. So Johan Santana, really good pitcher. Yeah, the Twins have certainly had some. Joe Mauer, how could I forget about Joe Mauer? That's a pretty big name. Yeah, Twins have certainly had some solid history. 15 had my Orioles. I mean, smack in the middle. We were talking about it before, and he was asking me how kind I was to the Orioles, and I didn't know how to answer that because I put them smack in the middle. The Orioles have certainly had some great teams. I mean, they quite a bit of Hall of Fame talent. Cal Ripken Jr., Jim Palmer, Eddie Murray, Earl Weaver as manager, the Robinsons, Brooks, and Frank. I would certainly say that all those guys are up there in the conversations for the best at their positions. And the Orioles, it's too bad. I feel like there were probably more World Series runs in there, and they had a decent chunk in the mid 2010s, but unfortunately that didn't materialize because there were some good teams mid 2010s. But yeah, I mean the Orioles have certainly had a good history. With their history being since 1954, I feel like you got to tip your cap to the O's. It's pretty that their franchise history has been pretty comparable to the Minnesota Twins, even though it's been a shorter time span. And then Cleveland Guardians came in at number 14. I went with the Guardians over the Orioles when it was all said and done, just because Cleveland's had a better winning percentage all time. And then I had the White Sox at 13. I mean, yeah, like you said, the White Sox are horrible right now, so it definitely feels weird putting them up here. But the White Sox had a very extensive history. Another team with a scandal, the 1919 World Series, they threw it. 8 Men Out. Shout out that movie if you want to go watch that. A lot of great stuff and how that happened. So if you want to talk cheating scandals in the World Series, there's something to think about. But that one didn't matter as much because they lost that World Series as opposed to the Astros. Um, Tigers number 12. We talked about the Tigers a little bit. They've had a lot of great pitching come through that organization, which makes sense considering that Comerica Park is pitcher's park. And Ty Cobb, one of the greatest hitters of all times, come through there. Miguel Cabrera, like you mentioned, and then number 11, Cincinnati, the oldest baseball team. Fun fact, in case you didn't know that. Joey Votto retired recently. That was pretty sad. Joey Votto is one of the best hitters of this generation. The Reds are certainly a historic franchise and on their own, and you do have to give them some credit for being the oldest organization out there.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised you put them that low. I had them a little higher. I think they're pretty good team. You want to get started with the next section though?
Yeah, next section.
You want me to do it, or is it yours?
Oh no, yeah, I'll start it. I forgot you started the last section. All right, we have entered the top 10. Number 10, I had the Pittsburgh Pirates. Number 9, I had the Chicago Cubs. 8, I had the Oakland Athletics. 7, I had the Houston Astros. And 6, I had the Atlanta Braves. I'm going to be honest, I forgot about the Astros cheating scandal when I put this list together. So I'd probably have the Astros a little bit lower. But the Astros are certainly, I think, without the cheating scandal, I'll try and spin it a little bit. I mean, it's obviously hard to spin the trash can banging scandal, but I'll do my best. I mean, you do have to give credit to this team when they've gone to 7 consecutive ALCS, and I know a lot of those didn't materialize, unfortunately, but the fact that they've been right on the doorstep of the World Series for 7 consecutive seasons, I think is pretty remarkable. So there's a way to spin it. Now, okay, back to the 10. Pirates, yeah, Pirates have had a pretty decent history. They've won 2 World Series against the Orioles, which is not great. And then, but yeah, I mean, they had Roberto Clemente. He's obviously. Hey, you know what? Speaking of Roberto Clemente, shout out! It is Roberto Clemente Day in Major League Baseball when we are recording this. So shout out Roberto Clemente. You know what? That'll be our clap it up for the episode. I know we do clap it up when we first get on the show or first get on the call, but let's clap it up for Roberto Clemente. All he did. Any words on Roberto? Any comment on Roberto Clemente?
Really good player, really good guy.
Mm-hmm.
What a coincidence that we're filming this on the day.
Yeah, that's quite a coincidence. But yeah, he did a lot. And then number 9 was the Cubs. Yeah, Cubs are very historic. I've definitely felt that because I went to Chicago over the summer. Wrigley, it is historic. It is truly one of a kind. It does feel like its own little town, which makes sense for the Wrigleyville City Connects. That team obviously has Ernie Banks, Ryan Sandberg, has had quite a few good names roll through there, and then the 2016 season was truly magical with Jake Arrieta, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Javi Baez. That was a great trio back when most of them were good. But yeah, Cubs certainly a great franchise. And the Oakland A's, the A's won 3 World Series in a row. That is no joke right there. Reggie Jackson helping them to a lot of those World Series. Unfortunately, they're no longer going to be in Oakland, which is really sad. So it does feel like the end of an era a little bit. This is our homage, and wow, I didn't think about it. It's actually about to end because it really is about to end because the regular season is coming to an end, and they're no longer in postseason contention. A little bit sad. Another not a clap it up moment because it's not celebrating anything, but any kind of last words for Oakland as the season winds down?
Kind of crazy. How many home seasons? How many home series do they have left?
I don't know. That's a good question. I know they're in Chicago right now. Let me look it up.
Yeah, we gotta find out how many.
Oakland Athletics. I'll get
Well,
it for you while you pay your tribute, pay your respects.
I mean, what's their respect? Garbage for the. um. Yeah, I mean, for the past 2 years, they've been kind of bad,
Hmm.
but they won a lot. I mean, 9 championships, tied for the third most.
Yeah.
In Oakland, that's impressive, no doubt.
Mm.
You
So
can't take that away.
yeah, you can't. So they lost the White Sox today. I'm sure everyone was watching that game. Athletics White Sox. So they're all still on the road. They're still in Chicago. They're playing the Cubs. For Monday through Wednesday, and then the weekend series is their last home series. Next weekend, playing the Yankees is the last home series for Oakland. Yeah.
Better sell out for the first time in 30 years.
Oh, it's like gonna be it's actually gonna be like an occasion, and then they go on the road. Oh no, wait, I stand corrected.
Texas.
Yeah, no, my bad, Texas. The September 26th is gonna be the last game in Oakland, California. Flies. And then
I don't
they
think they're gonna win 9 championships in Las Vegas.
who knows? Hey, you never know. You never know.
I
Uh,
guess so.
maybe we won't see that. I'll put it at that.
It's gonna take a while.
It's gonna take a while. It might not happen in our lifetime, but and then they wrap up the series or they wrap up the season in Seattle. Yeah, Oakland A's certainly is historic franchise and shout out Moneyball, great movie. It's not gonna hit the same with them not being the Oakland A's, but hey, I don't want that to take away from a great movie. Shout out Brad Pitt. Wow, I did a long time in the Oakland A's. Houston Astros. Okay, I talked about the cheating scandal, but they had Nolan Ryan as well. Jeff Bagwell, Craig Biggio, some of the other notable names that have gone through, and then the Braves. I honestly really like the Braves all time. They have like a Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, John Smoltz. I mean, those are some great pitchers right there. And then, Chipper Jones coming through that organization.
Whoa.
What?
You didn't mention Hank Aaron.
I did not mention Hank Aaron.
That's the big one.
That is the big one. The true home run king, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean the Braves are. Excuse me. Braves are a great organization. I think I mentioned Chipper Jones. Yeah. So yeah, that is my 10 through 6. Bottom half of the top 10.
This you came out of the gate hot. I had the Pittsburgh Pirates also at 10. The Cubs at 9 too, and I had the Braves at 8, Reds at 7, and then Athletics at 6. So for the Pirates, I think you kind of explained it well, and same with the Cubs. For the Braves, I think only they have 4 championships, a little less than other teams, and which is still a lot, no doubt. The win percentage of their 9th all time. They've had Hank Aaron, one of the best players, if not the best player of all time. So that is definitely a lot of talent. Freddie Freeman was a great player for them. I'm current guy.
You're talking current, yeah. Freeman and Ronald Acuna Jr.
Yeah.
Although Acuna's been hurt though, sadly.
Yeah, I think Freddie Freeman's kind of like he's
Yeah.
in the Brave for our generation.
Yeah.
I know he's not there anymore, but he was.
For sure.
And then for the Reds, where you had the Reds at 11, I think.
Yeah. Oh, did you? Oh, yeah. You had them in your top 10.
I had them at number 7. I just think, 5 World Championships. They're 8th all time in win percentage, and the players they have, I think, are really impressive. Maybe the best catcher of all time, Johnny Bench.
Yeah.
They've had players also like Joey Votto you mentioned, and Pete Rose.
I forgot about
I know
Pete
they kind
Rose.
of ended dirty, but he was a great player. Barry Larkin and Frank Robinson players. Joe Morgan, really good players, I think, in the Reds.
And both
I know you don't
Griffeys.
really- Both Griffeys. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't mention Griffey Jr. Totally forgot
Yeah.
about him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just the talent is just a lot. I think it rivals some. It might be they might have some of the best talent in all of baseball. I think they're right up there. A lot of good players. And then the A's. Where'd you have the A's? I totally forget.
I had him at 8.
8. I am at 6. I had to respect the 9 championships, even though the win percentage is not that great. Surprising. I mean, they're 19th, even though they've won 9 championships, but that's kind of disappeared. We haven't seen one of those in a while, but you gotta respect that. And Ricky Henderson, he was
Stolen base king.
stolen base king. He's all time athletic. So I'd pay respect to the championships there. And then the top 5, we have the same 5 teams. Should we go one by one here?
We'll find out the order. I will just say I forgot about the Astros cheating scandal. I'd probably have the Reds at number 7 if I remembered that. I'd swap those two and then probably bump the Houston Astros down a little bit farther. So yeah, I mean, you said it really well with the Reds. The Reds are pretty all-time organization, and again, oldest baseball team. I feel like we should go. Yeah, we'll do one by one for the top 5.
All right. So who's your number 5?
My number 5 was the San Francisco Giants.
I had Los Angeles Dodgers at number 5.
Oh, okay.
So talk to you about the Giants.
The Giants are like just, they're classy all time. They had the mini dynasty in the mid 2010s, kind of rolling over the NL. Buster Posey was great. Just massive Bumgarner. Never forget about playoff Bumgarner. Willie McCovey, you can't deny. Barry Bonds, I very, very controversial, but as a person who doesn't have as much tolerance for this whole steroid thing, you can't deny what he did on the field, and obviously you can't take that away. It's really just the whole Hall of Fame case, but it's greatest player of all time thing, but story for a different time. I mean, the Giants have just they've had a lot. They've really had a lot in San Francisco. Even dating back to the New York Giants, like a Willie Mays, who I think is the greatest baseball player of all time. The Giants, I know they've kind of been unimpressive recently. They did have that fever dream, which was 2021. But the Giants, there is something there. I know it seems kind of flat on the surface, but they are very historic. If you dive deeper into it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think I have a little more tolerance for the steroid things. I think I'm gonna put Barry Bonds a little higher than you would in an all-time list, and then obviously Willie Mays, great player. He's definitely up there, top 3 in my opinion. But yeah, they've had a lot of good players. And for the Dodgers at number 5, I just think they have last championships with the Giants. They had 7, 8. I know it's not a big difference. The Giants are also number 2 all time in win percentage. Dodgers number 3. It's kind of impressive, And then Dodgers, they've kind of been the team of our generation. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you agree with that, I think they've definitely dominated. Even though only won 1 World Championships, they've made a couple. In terms of players, it's been dominance. They seem to have just all the best guys, including Joe Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. I mean, they had Trey Turner. They had a bunch of good players. And obviously Jackie Robinson, that's a big one. I mean, just a lot of names. I take the other teams ahead. There's no disrespect. Dodgers are a great franchise, top 5, but I just had to put the other ones ahead. I think at this late in the game, these teams are really close. It really just came down to championships for me. That's kind of the deciding factor.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll move on to number 4. At number 4, I had the Boston Red Sox.
Ooh. Okay. Number 4, I had the Giants.
Okay. So yeah, for the Red Sox, obviously super historic. Had Babe Ruth. Gave him away for peanuts, but that's okay. You did a lot with Babe Ruth. You know, he brought in a lot of hardware for the Red Sox. Yeah, it's Ted Williams as well, arguably the greatest hitter of all time. Had Rocket Roger Clemens on the mound, obviously another steroid guy, but the Red Sox are just like, you had the Carlton Fisk waving it fair. That's an iconic moment. Shout out to Uncle Matt, favorite player growing up was Carlton Fisk. And I feel like I have to mention Jim Rice, another great player. Yeah, David Ortiz, kind of leading the way through those 2000s years, breaking the World Series job. Carl Yastrzemski, another great name. Another kind of Willie Mays-esque story where he could just kind of do it all.
Pedro Martinez. I mean,
Yeah, Pedro Martinez. You know what? I'll let you have the floor. Oh no, wait. I'll let you have the floor for the Red Sox when you say them.
okay.
But yeah.
I'm getting defensive.
You had the Giants. Yeah.
I did have the Giants. I think you kind of explained it very well. We kind of went over this. It's more the Dodgers get the championships, and like I said, I'm a little more tolerant for Barry Bonds. So to kind of have that duo of Barry Bonds and Willie Mays, that's tough to beat. That's definitely some top end talent ever to have in your franchise. And then so I guess we'll just move on to number 3. I had the Boston Red Sox.
Okay. I had the Cardinals.
Oh wow, this is getting interesting.
Yeah. Cardinals are just I feel like the Cardinals kind of feel like the standard when it comes to just classiness. That's the Cardinals are pretty, pretty. Yeah, they've just done it forever. I know it's not great right now, but all time it's just they have so much. Stan Musial has been there. Bob Gibson's been there. Those are one of the greatest hitters and one of the greatest pitchers in those categories. They have Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado right now. Those are two of the better players of this generation. I don't remember anyone else if I can remember correctly, but yeah, Cardinals. They haven't moved either. They haven't moved locations, so yeah, I think the Cardinals are kind of one of the standards in Major League Baseball in terms of just classing this organization.
Okay, so all right, and then my number 3, I already said it, Boston Red Sox.
Yeah,
I just think they got 9 of them, count them. They won the first World Series. I know they had the curse of Bambino, big drought, but still put up some good competitive teams. Had a lot of good players, like you pretty much said them all. And then William Smith backs it up at 518, 5th all time. They've been one of the more dominant teams of the 21st century. 4 championships. That's, I don't know. They're up there with the Yankees for the best team of this century. So I just put that there. But I think we were pretty good on our not being very biased, considering we were within 1 of each other, a regular person's team.
Yeah.
I think that's a new step for us. It's props to us.
That is props to us. We took a look at the bigger picture in life. So.
But yeah. I think it's only 1 spot. You had them at 4. It's not that big of a deal, but
Yeah.
I just had to pull them over because of championships. And then Cardinals, I thought were interesting. And then you got Dodgers top 2.
I do have Dodgers top 2. I have the Dodgers at number 2.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
And then I had the Cardinals at number 2, of course.
You had
Cardinals. Yeah.
That's a big drop.
What do you mean?
Well, I had the Cubs at what? Number 9?
I said the Cardinals.
Oh, Cardinals, my bad. Okay, so Cardinal. Okay. Yeah. You got anything to add?
I just think 11. I said it before. It came down to championships. 11, second most all time. Look at the players. I mean, Albert Pujols, Bob Gibson. I think you said the other ones. It's just it had to be
Pujols. I
none of
forgot
them
about
two.
Pujols. Good one.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course, 7 home runs. I mean, how can you forget him?
Oh, Yadi
So
Molina. We forgot about Yadi.
yeah, I am really Adam Wainwright. I mean,
Bueno. Yeah.
you could put Paul Goldschmidt in there, MVP.
MVP. Yeah. No, Nolan Arenado, like I said, one of the better third basemen of this generation.
Yeah, I mean, it's just they've had. So Stan, you say it's Stan Musial?
Yeah. Well, I mentioned Stan Musial. Stan the man.
Stan the man. I
You know.
mean, a lot of talent, a lot of success. I don't know. I feel like I thought it was a no-brainer number two, but I guess not. But what do you say about Dodgers?
Okay. Yeah. The Dodgers. Kind of. I think this is kind of more recency bias for me. I know they haven't had the championships to show for it, but I mean, it feels like every single year they're loaded with talent. Betts Otani Freeman, like that's one hell of a trio. If we're being honest, I mean, it's like the dream team. That's literally a dream scenario for any organization to get those three as like the middle of your order. I mean, that's truly incredible. You have to admire that. I mean, I mean, the Dodgers have done a lot. I mean, they got the Kirk Gibson trot back in 1988. Tommy Lasorda was there as well managing. They had Bellinger has some MVP caliber years. Yeah, I mean the Dodgers have had a lot run through their organization, and to be honest, I'd probably flip them to Cardinals, but that's Dodgers certainly have had a lot of success. Recent success, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely did been the dominant team of the 2020s. That's fair to say. They're definitely
Mm-hmm.
favored to win this championship.
Mm-hmm.
And then number
Glasnow
one,
going down though, that hurts.
yeah, that's definitely not good.
Not gonna pitch in the postseason either. That's too bad.
But number one, it really we hate this. We hate to say it,
We hate it.
but you
I know.
can't make an argument for anybody else.
You can't twist it. You can't.
There's literally nothing you can say.
No. It's New York Yankees.
27 championships.
Yeah.
The most winning percentage is first, and it's not very close. They got 569. Number two is 535.
Yeah.
So, and if you just go down the players, it makes me sick almost because it's just talent.
It's pretty insane. I mean, if you talk about recently, you have Derek Jeter, you have A-Rod, another steroid guy, that was pretty crazy voice crack. Another steroid guy in A-Rod. Mariano Rivera, insane closer, one of the best closers of all time. And they have Garrett Cole right now. Garrett Cole is pretty unbelievable. Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle. Like you look at the talent. They had Reggie Jackson on this team. You just look at it top to bottom with the New York Yankees, and like it's not even fair. It's you said it. Not 569 winning percentage. They have won 40 pennants. 40 pennants, folks. 58 playoff appearances over their span. Which is just, I mean, it's just unbelievable. So that's, I mean, that's just, yeah. I mean, this team seems insane. So it's, for forgetting anyone else, Don Mattingly. I mean, Aaron Judge.
Derek Jeter
Currently, I mean, Aaron Judge is just unbelievable. Juan Soto, unbelievable. Robinson Cano had some great years with the Yankees. I mean, like the list feels like it goes on and on. So yeah, I mean, it's just you look at it, it's not even fair.
Yogi Berra,
Andy Pettit.
Yogi Berra.
Yogi Berra. Oh my goodness. That's it's pretty insane. Roger Maris. The list goes on and on. You can't stop. Whitey Ford, Paul O'Neill. I mean, ugh,
I mean, we can stop now.
yeah. You know what? I'll take a break. We both hate it. We know it, but at the same time, we can't deny it. The Yankees franchise is just it's like one of the most winning franchises in sports. So yeah. But another great time to look back at the past and reminisce about some good times in Major League Baseball. So yeah, that'll do it for this episode. Any last thoughts, as always, before we head out?
I think it was a good one. I think looking forward. I think maybe next week or the week after that we'll have playoff predictions. That'll be a fun one to do. That's what I'm kind of thinking about. But this was a good one. I think I'm surprised you haven't done it. We've ranked a lot of stuff, and it's not two franchises.
Yeah.
So we got that out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think. What do you think?
It was pretty good. This one, another one took a lot of prep. But I think it was worth it. It was, it's just fun to look back. I mean, baseball is a historic game. It's America's pastime, and I felt like this, out of all the rankings we've done, kind of encapsulates that perfectly. So, it's good stuff. I mean, you just get to look back at a historical game, and there's been so much that's happened in this game. So, and hopefully there's more to come. We'll do playoff predictions because the regular season is about to end. So I think we'll do playoff predictions next week, and then from then we'll do playoff predictions with teams in the bracket or in the playoffs.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it. We'll do World Series picks. And then the following week after we do playoff picks next week. I kind of made that sound weird. So the next episode will be playoff teams to end the regular season, and then World Series teams will go through that as well. Thanks so much for listening this week. As always, I'm your host, Patrick Moran, alongside Brendan Cunningham. And with that, we'll see you next time.